welcome. My name is Nadia, your guide to better skin naturally. I can help you reverse aging naturally through lifestyle, understanding biology, and precise, clean skincare routines. No injections, no aggressive treatments, and no sensitivity. If you've been looking in the mirror and you feel that your face changed faster than it should have, you're not alone. One of the most unsettling shifts that people experience is that sudden volume loss. The cheeks start looking flatter, the jawline softens, the face feels deflated, and sometimes almost overnight. I'm 48 years old now. I experienced it suddenly at 43, and I've shared how I was able to reverse aging. I will share that again today and a lot more tips that I've learned along the way. The mistake that I've seen so many people make, lots of my personal clients, and that they've regretted. So hopefully you hear this and it saves you from having these regrets or making these mistakes, wasting all this money and time, is going and getting filler. Filler just weighs the face down. It makes it look fuller, more stretched, but it doesn't add those contours, especially if you get hyaluronic acid filler. Hyaluronic acid is a water magnet. It just continues to attract that water, and a lot of times it's spread unevenly throughout your face, so you'll end up looking bumpy. It's never a good look. Other people go for Botox, which freezes your muscle, and we absolutely need those muscles not to be frozen. We need them to be dynamic. We need them to be moving, because that's how we're going to work them out to add that volume back in the face. Because looking frozen does not equate to looking youthful. Many of us go for the shortcut, not realizing, not even knowing that that frozen muscle is now drooping down. So many of my clients, I cannot count, have shared they've experienced eye droopiness once they've injected the forehead muscles, for example. And there are a number of studies today that show that once you start injecting your muscle with Botox, the attached bone starts resorbing. So you lose bone, and we need that bone to actually be denser versus smaller, because the bone is one of the structures that hold that skin up, that keep us looking youthful. So this video is about adding volume back naturally, not artificially. First, let's talk about what I did when I was 43 years old, and that's 5 years ago, to reverse aging. At the time, I had just come out of 20-year marriage. It was not good. The divorce was very stressful. It was the pandemic. I mean, it just felt like the sky is falling. There was so much going on in my life. So that showed in my face as sagging, droopiness. My neck, skin was very loose. And I actually showed a lot of those photos a long time ago when I first started. Actually, that was around the time that I also quit a very stressful job and decided to start the Beauty Doctrine. I had enough of the fluff in the beauty industry. I had enough of mean bosses, and I just wanted to bring something positive and healthy and do something different. And that was the start of the Beauty Doctrine. But that also meant that I was strained financially, being a single mom, starting a new company during the pandemic when everything is shut. It was crazy. I am sharing all this just to say you're not alone. We all go through so much stress, but stress is even worse when hormones are declining. Already our bodies are in survival mode as women. When you start getting into perimenopause, obviously in the 40s, hormones are declining to a certain level. Some of us experience perimenopause faster or earlier than others. That is a time that you want to start taking for yourself, to meditate, to optimize sleep. But if you had that going on with your body, and then on top of it, you have a lot of stressors, that can really create the perfect storm for that sagging. My sister saw me and she said, "What's happened to you? You look so old." That was the wake-up call, actually. I went and looked at my videos. I had been posting videos, and I looked at them and I realized that I looked very, very, very aged. And I'm so glad that I'm experiencing this. My life has been changing in this way on camera, because that's documentation. So if you go to my TikTok, you'll see a lot of my older videos, and you'll see the up and down too. So even in the last 5 years, after I was able to reverse a lot of that aging, you can see from video to video the progression. You'll see times where you'll notice a lot of jawline, and then times when my face is lifted. And again, that's because I'm a very busy mom and I'm a business owner. And so there are times where I just don't have time to apply everything I preach. And I'm helping a lot of clients. However, I often do not have time to practice all of it. And then when I start correcting, it doesn't take long. And so there's a reason why I'm sharing all this, is because I'm here to tell you that sometimes when I go from not doing much to really applying all these tips, I can see a huge difference in as little as 2 or 3 weeks. And many of my clients share the same experience. That was a lot, but I felt it was necessary to have some background. All right, now let's get to the system, I guess. It was not intentional, it was not a system at the time, but what I had changed in my life once my sister had said that I looked really aged. I started applying more than one thing on my face. So paid attention to hydration, attention to moisture, to sunscreen, started exfoliating about once a week. Just that made visible improvement in the quality of the skin. Now for the neck, I needed a lot more because my neck was sagging quite a bit. Blocks of text over my neck to cover it on those videos, but I'm gonna add one right here so you can actually see that sagging peeking through. So what I had started doing for that is red light therapy. So red light was not a big deal at the time. I was doing a lot of research around it, and I discovered that it can firm the skin, boost collagen, and so on. So I became very consistent with it, and I can tell you, I saw a massive difference in 2 months only. So now, a good skincare routine was obviously clean, because that's my expertise, is clean skincare. We don't want to be introducing products that are introducing toxins, because that means our body, our skin, they have to start metabolizing and dealing with these toxins. So you only want to go up. If you want to go up fast, you want to stop all those things that are hindering you. And so remove toxins and all these alcohols and harsh ingredients from your routine if you want to see the fastest improvement. Okay, so step one was a full good routine that optimized hydration, moisture, protection, and so on. The second one is consistent red light therapy every day with a good device. And 3 was just the reintroduction of protein and collagen. 43 was the very first time I took collagen. There was a lot of advertisement, obviously. If you're on the skincare side of TikTok, collagen ads came up all the time. So I started to give it a try. And again, it was 2 months. So 2 months of good skincare, red light therapy, and collagen, and I optimized protein quite a bit. My face was transformed. So the results that I had achieved lasted for a few months, but fluctuated obviously. So there are these periods of higher stress where I feel like aging is catching up to me, and then lower stress when I start recovering, and so on. But things that I added over the years that I've discovered as I have been building the functional beauty principles through, to help reverse aging through lifestyle, nutrition, and so on. These are the top highlights that I think have made the biggest difference for me in my lived experience and for my clients. Again, I am very short on time. I just wake up and go. But when I have time, or when I see that decline in my skin, I see the droopiness starting to happen again, the jawline is happening again, I go straight to a good nano-current device. I'll link this up for you below. It's going to help with muscle activation and increased circulation. And that is so important. It does that on the skin level and on the muscle level. I want you to imagine, or just to think of when someone goes to the gym and they work out, they're stimulating that muscle, or even now when you do the vibrators that you stand on, I have one over here, it makes a difference. When you stimulate those muscles, they start working, they start toning, and that's what we want to do. We want to tone facial muscles. They're hard to do. You can't do that at the gym, but there are ways that you can do it at home, and micro/nanocurrent is an excellent method. If you can take the time and do it, I would say 3 days a week. In about 8 weeks or so, you should see a significant result. And that's kind of like the long-term result where your face looks the same, contoured and lifted. If you want instant gratification, so let's say you're going to an event, in the evening, if you do that right before, you'll see that tone. You will see that lift that's instantaneous. You can take a before and after picture and you will notice that tone. Only thing is you have to maintain it for it to stick. The next method is to increase circulation. It's as simple as that. Blood flow brings nutrients and oxygen to the skin. The skin will look firmer, more toned, more glowing because you have all those nutrients coming to the surface. So if you have a sedentary lifestyle, you're going to age really fast. If you're someone that moves around, that exercises, you will see a big difference in your skin. I've been trying to maintain a good exercise schedule. I've been doing hot yoga, which helps me sweat a lot. The days that I don't practice hot yoga, I use a sauna blanket. And so that's a blanket that you just wear at home and it helps you sweat. And sweat is extremely important to release toxins that are built up in the fat that age us and cause systemic inflammation. So bottom line, move and sweat. And speaking of movement, we want to have that movement on the face. We want that facial massage. So this is something that I've gotten used to doing always, is as I'm applying my skincare routine, I apply it in this motion always. So I'm going upwards in the front of the neck area and down, so that helps with lymphatic drainage. On the face, as I'm applying, I'm always applying upwards and towards the ear. So do that. You're getting the skin used to that lifted position, but also you're aiding in the lymphatic drainage. And so it's really simple. You don't have to have a firm touch. So really light. I don't want to keep rubbing my face right now because I don't have an oil. It feels a little dry, but I'm just going to demonstrate. So it's just applying upwards and then towards the ear, and then you go behind the ear down. So that's how you're driving that lymphatic fluid away from the face, and you'll see a lot more contour, a lot less puffiness. There are also pressure points that you can press to release the tension on the face. I created this little visual right here. If you want me to send it to you, just comment guide and I'll send you a link so you can access all of my guides, which will have it in there. Next tip that's super helpful is to chew your food. Yes, it sounds weird, but our ancestors used to have really defined square jaws because they had to chew their foods a lot before all the cooking and everything. Now we're drinking smoothies, and that's aging our faces. Most people now, they go for days not having like a crunchy salad or maybe a steak, but you want to figure out a way to incorporate foods in your diet that will take you a long time to chew, and that is so important. It's actually great for your digestive system. Our systems are built for us, for all of our different systems to communicate, to work together. When we're chewing, we're sending signals to our brain that sends signals to our stomach to create more bile to break down the food, but now we're just gulping all these liquids and bypassing a lot of processes that are so important for our health, our vitality, and digestion. But forget about digestion, we'll stick with vanity today. Just for your facial contours, when you're chewing, you are working out the masseter. It's the third strongest muscle on our body. That's the one that's essential for this motion as we're chewing. And so I personally love a big salad for lunch, and I do a lot of crunchy things in there. So I'll put carrots and I'll put cucumbers, radishes. So you figure it out, but try to have maybe a big salad every day. I tend to have the same thing really every single day, and that way I can stick to it. It's predictable. And if you want to cheat the system, you can use these little guys. These are workout silicones, things you can chew on. You can put one on each side and you start chewing on them while watching TV or working out or whatever you want to do. These will help work out that masseter. Initially, you'll start having a little bit of a headache because you're waking up all the muscles on your face, but the results are phenomenal if you want to start working on that contour and a more defined jawline. And of course, you'll have a link below. Another way you can get to building that muscle really fast is to include creatine in your routine. Creatine now is known to be the most researched supplement on the planet. It's been researched now for 50 years, and it's proven to not only enhance your muscle tone because it helps you retain more water in the muscle. So people that say it didn't work out for them, it's because they're not using it correctly. But it also, in addition to maintaining that muscle, it helps increase our attention. It helps our brains. It helps with cognition, which for a lot of women, as those hormones decline, we start getting a lot of brain fog and so on. So creatine, for me personally, it's been a life changer. And if you're wondering about what I take, all of my favorites, all the products that I vet to be toxin-free, cleaner, healthier, and so on. You'll find them on my website, thebeautydoctrine.com. And because I keep the collection there pretty tight, pretty curated, I created a different website, which is thebeautydoctrinereviews.com, where I review all types of products that are wellness related. So I'm starting with skincare. I just got to some hair products, some tools, and I'm adding products every single day. So feel free to check it out each week. And if you are curious about a certain product that you want me to vet, if you put it in the search bar and it doesn't come up, you'll see an invitation or form to fill out with the name of that product, and I can vet it for you. Now let's talk about a skincare routine that can help you attain your results much faster without all the added toxic load. By the way, I curated several bundles on my website that can help guide you. They give you a little bit of an idea how to build a routine, but I'll just go ahead and create a routine right here, something that's going to be universal, that anybody, male, female, doesn't matter what age, as long as you are interested in age reversal and a good routine that's going to support your skin without causing sensitivity, this would be a really good routine. It is also the routine I use most of the time. There are a lot of times when I'm testing various products for the product reviews and I'm preparing a review series, so I'm playing with a lot of different things, but truly this is my core routine. Or if I'm testing something out and I start getting reactive, I go back to this. This is my safe routine. And again, you'll find all these products on my website, so I always start, or as often as I can, I start with the red light therapy devices. This is the least expensive panel I was able to find on the market. About this size, they typically start at $600. This is about 120 or 130 or so. And I love that it has red light. So you see R for red, NIR is for near infrared. So red works on the dermis, near infrared goes much deeper into the tissue for repair. And so if you're working out and so on, this will help heal the tissues. Even if you don't work out, it's going to help you with inflammation, increased circulation, blood flow, water, hydration of the cells. So red light is extremely beneficial. I also do gua sha. Most days, if I don't, I'll just use my fingers. So it just depends whether I'm doing my skincare routine at my desk where I keep all of my stuff, or if I'm doing it in the bathroom. So in the bathroom, I typically have a gua sha that I use. If I'm just using it here, preparing for a video, I'll just use my fingers. If I have extra time, I'll do the Zip microcurrent device. These are my cleansers. So they are Blue Biome. One is an oil nourishing cleanser, and this is a hydrating milk cleanser. So every morning I cleanse my face first. So on a dry face, it's important to still cleanse because you have all the skincare from the night before, debris, dust, whatever. And then of course we sweat overnight. We push out toxins that are sitting on the surface. So you've got to do that milk cleanser. So maybe one pump, massage it all over and rinse. Very simple. At night, however, we want to do both cleansers. The oil is going to break down the makeup or sunscreen, and then you follow with the cleanser. So after you've done the oil, you rinse it off with warm water, and then you go with the cream cleanser. Take your time, massage maybe about 30 seconds, and you rinse that off, pat dry, and then you're going to proceed with your red light therapy or whatever treatment you decide to do. I like rotating products. So as far as mist, so after cleansing, you want to mist, I either use the Botanical D from One Love Organics or foundational face mist. I just added this to my website probably in November. It's a really good size. It's phenomenal. I've been mixing a little bit of vitamin C powder. This is pure vitamin C powder. A little pricey, but it lasts for a very long time. You just need a touch. I would mist in the palm of my hand, do a little bit of powder and create a mixture and apply that on the face, and then mist a little bit more because I like to have a lot of hydration. I follow very often with the white tea phytoretinol elixir. This is great because it's packed with actives. It's got panthenol, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, which is going to help us retain that hydration from the mist. You've got copper. Copper is essential for the collagen boost and collagen renewal, and many more just essential actives, and it's really gentle even for the most sensitive skin. So that's kind of my basic go-to serum. Then at night, I would rotate it. So that will go day and night. I just always reach for it. But every other night, I'll reach for this one. Sorry, it's a little dirty because of the oils, but it's Tonic. So this is a great brand. It's a liposomal retinol. So what that means is that it's encapsulated in fat. And so you're not going to experience the irritation that you tend to experience from most retinoids and retinols. You apply it just like an oil and it's going to go into the skin and then it releases the retinol. So you don't experience the redness, itching, irritation, and so on. I love that product. And so you can do it every other day and you can build up to every day. I'm not interested in retinol every night, so I continue just with every other day. That's my cadence. I'm pretty happy with that. In the winter time, I use a moisturizer. Summer, spring, I skip it just because I do oils. In the winter, I pack it on because my skin tends to be extra dry in the winter. And so I like the peptide cream from Hene Organics. So this I use on the face, I use it on the neck and décolletage as well. If it's daytime, again, I like to rotate products just to get more benefit, or maybe just because I have access to them. But for the eye area, this has been my routine now for several years. I do Agent Nature Holy Glow Eye Serum and the Bloom Effect Eye Gel. They're both lightweight, but they each have a different set of ingredients, and I just love both. I don't necessarily use them both every single time. I literally just reach for one. Rarely, if I'm in a good mood and I have time, then I would do the serum first, the gel second, but you don't have to do all this. You can just pick one, go on my website, read the ingredients and the descriptions and see what suits you, but this will be much lighter. It's in a pump. This one is a little stickier. It's a gel, but it's still lightweight. And they both will have anti-aging benefits. They both will help with puffiness, with dark circles, and with wrinkles. All right, and here is the last step of the routine. If it's daytime, I always finish with a tinted SPF. So this one is Cary Grant medium, or I tend to do the Audacité. So either or, but I love a tint. So it's a little messy, but this is kind of the color that I'm wearing today. But very often I do the Cary Grant. So Cary Grant tends to be lighter as far as coverage. The Audacité one is almost like a light foundation. So I wear it on days where I'm filming, but day to day, it just out and about, I do the Cary Grant because it feels lighter and it's also more glowy. It's an oil-based SPF, and so it gives you that dewy look. So a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I love skin that looks hydrated and moisturized. So that was the last step when it comes to daytime. For nighttime, I use an oil. So even after the moisturizer, so remember I said the peptide cream is what I moisturize with right now, I still finish with an oil just to seal things in. When your skin is dry, it just drinks it all up, and I got to finish it with oil. I just absolutely love those oils because they are what helps us maintain elasticity and bounce in the skin. Our skin, our lipid barrier is made up of fat, and many women make the mistake of going low fat with their diet or fat-free with their moisturizers or really lightweight, and that's how you can speed up aging. So really make sure that you're paying attention to how much fat you're applying on the skin. A lot of people still have the idea that moisture or oils will break them out. That is so not true. That was something that was created by the beauty industry in the 80s and 90s where everybody wanted fat-free. And that's also when many women aged the fastest. I think this is one of my longest videos, but I try to pack as many tips for you in here as possible to truly give you that full picture. I hope it was helpful to you. Let me know. If you have any questions, also please let me know. I am now on Substack. I launched a podcast. So this year, I'm focused on creating as much content for you as possible. If you have ideas, questions, I'm so happy to hear them out and to answer your questions. Until the next video, be well, be safe, be beautiful.